About 2 years ago, my son Zachary came to me and he told me that his wife was abusing drugs and having extramarital affairs.
I said to him, "You trust me, why are you accusing me?" He would come home from work paranoid. He would do perimeter checks of our home.
When I try to let Zachary know that there's no way possible that this could be happening, he just looks at me and he's like, "Mom, you know it's true."
He's accused me of molesting my nephew, of doing drugs, online dating.
My son thinks that my daughter-in-law has slept with 170 plus people.
Which include his father, my brother. We recently took our children to the White House, and then he started accusing me of having affairs with Presidents Obama, Trump, and Biden.
Zachary believes that there is a motorcycle club forcing us to sleep with men from the motorcycle club. And I recruited Samantha into the club. And then Samantha would sleep with the men instead of me.
And that I get paid for it.
Zachary gets really upset with me because I stick up for Samantha. I'm not betraying you.
But we've literally just had this discussion, and the whole time you never once took my side.
You're asking me to believe something that I don't believe.
If my son told me the sky was red, the sky's red.
It makes me angry, and it makes me feel sick and really sad that he actually believes that I'm doing these things.
Zachary will have to leave the house if he can't get better and he doesn't agree to get treatment at this point.
I wish I had a partner to be there for me, but I don't have that right now.
To make my child leave his home, it will absolutely devastate me. It's going to hurt.
Okay, Samantha, Christal, I'm glad that you guys are here. You're dealing with a very difficult situation. Now, Christal, did Zachary ever show any unusual thinking, any unusual mental emotional adjustment as he was growing up or at any time prior to this episode that we're dealing with now?
No, Zachary was just a very, normal child. He was always very family oriented. He, we had a very open relationship. We've never had any secrets with one another. Mm-hmm. We've just been a very close mom-son relationship.
No atypical thinking, no what most people would describe as paranoia, suspiciousness, ideas of persecution by others.
Not at all.
Nothing like that. Did you ever notice anything like that before this episode started?
I did not, no. No, we had a very normal relationship. He was a great dad to our then 2 children. We could do normal things together. We could go to the grocery store together. We could be a normal couple together.
Right, because now he's talking about very wild accusations. He believes that you have had affairs with 3 presidents, correct?
He does, yes. He believes that I have had affairs with Presidents Obama, Trump, and Biden. And Biden shook his hand and said, "Thank you for sharing your wife with me," at his place of employment.
Now, what is this about a motorcycle club or gang?
So he believes in his head that the reason I'm having these affairs is that there's a motorcycle club that is trying to initiate him to be a part of this club. And he believes that in order for him to be a part of this club, that they're making his wife sleep with anyone and everyone. His mom's involved in it. Every single person that we see, I'll go to the gas station and the clerk, that person, he'll tell me in the car is involved.
Okay, and he thinks that you're doing all this sleeping to keep you from having to do it, correct?
Correct, yes. I recruited her into the club to do these things for me so that I don't have to do them.
Zachary quit his job because he believes I've slept with everybody, and he couldn't function because he was having these thoughts that the people he was with have been with his wife. Zachary claims he can't look for new employment because the internet is tracked and that the club will put him in a job where I will have to sleep with all of the people at the new job.
He has basically said that he thinks that this motorcycle club wants to build your baby into a soldier and that the doctors are part of a conspiracy.
That's correct, yes.
To get that done. He's actually started talking to the children and told them that you've dangled them over a bridge.
He has, yes. He told our 3-year-old one day we were driving over a bridge to drop her off at a babysitter's house, and he said, "Hey, do you remember that time that mommy hung you and your brother off the bridge and the cops had to come and save you from mommy?"
Had this behavior started when you got pregnant the third time?
It was already happening when I was pregnant the third time. For the longest time when I was pregnant, he told me that I was faking my pregnancy and I wasn't really pregnant. And because of COVID, he couldn't come to my appointments with me, but I'd give him a scan and he'd tell me that's fake. Anyone can create that on the internet. So he didn't even believe I was pregnant.
I was happy in the early part of my marriage, definitely. Being a dad for me is awesome. It's the best part of my life. Sorry, I get emotional with that. My kids, you know? Probably because of like the main reason I'm here, because I want them to have the best life they can. And lately, that's not what they've been getting. In the last year, I noticed Samantha was working longer hours than usual. And then I noticed her behavior start to change, and she was becoming someone else. I think my wife was having affairs with people from the dating app, and in return, she was blackmailed into having sex with my family members. I quit my job because I believed she was having affairs with people that I worked with. I believe she had 170 partners. Makes me angry, a bit of like embarrassed.
She claims you accused her of cheating with presidents.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Can we circle back to that? I'm not talking about that. I'll swing and miss on this. I'm gonna deny that and just go next. I'm not talking about that. Next.
This isn't gonna work if you're not honest with him, Zachary.
That's why we're here. Because you ain't honest. What do you mean?
Do you realize that the things that you think that I have done aren't very realistic, like sleeping with presidents?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When I say that you have told me I had an affair with President Biden,
You're lying.
and I've slept with your dad, and I've slept with your grandfather,
I don't know what you
and
did.
your uncles,
It's gross.
it is
You
gross.
should be ashamed.
I'm not ashamed because I haven't done those.
Okay, take a lie detector test.
I have no problem taking a lie detector test.
I'm done with this.
Wait.
I'm done. I have been evaluated by a doctor multiple times, all to go to prove that I wasn't crazy.
Zachary went in and said that we were having marital problems, and they just discharged him and referred him to marital counseling. The second time, he checked himself out after a week of treatment against medical advice.
I mean, they prescribed me medicine, and I didn't like how I felt. Stopped using them. I believe everything can be solved by talking.
This is Dr. Charles Sophy. Dr. Sophy really works a lot with the brain and emotions and perceptions and all. What do you think about this?
Well, first of all, thank you for being open to talk to us. Do you have this everywhere in your life, or is it just about your wife? I mean, do you have issues at your job? Do you have issues with feeling safe, people following you, any of that stuff?
As far as feeling safe, I can handle my own, so I don't ever really feel like endangered or threatened.
You don't check behind you a lot, or
I mean, I do.
do you?
But I think that's kind of expected from like my time in service.
But do you ever hear voices that you can't account for, or somebody's voice in
Absolutely
your head?
not.
And do you wake up one day like believing things had changed in your life, or did it come on slowly?
I put it like this, like it was kind of like a crawl stage. Like I started noticing certain things, but we skipped the walk and went straight to running.
So it accelerated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever want to hurt yourself,
No.
hurt other people?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Absolutely. I think that's human nature or male nature for someone in my position.
In your position, you mean the way
The way
that
I
you're seeing things?
Yeah, I'll use that word, the way I'm perceiving it or whatever.
Are you open to thinking that you could be misperceiving, or no?
I think there's a chance for human error, so to speak, but to me, it's 100% real.
Do you use any drugs or alcohol?
I smoked marijuana in the past, but not currently. Alcohol, I'll have 1 or 2 drinks here and there, but never, like, I don't drink daily or even weekly.
And how about prescription drugs?
Probably about
You stopped Adderall?
2, yeah,
How
about
long?
2.5 months ago.
You stopped Adderall 2.5 months ago?
Yeah, but there's a break in between that too. Like, I stopped for a couple months and then started again, and then I stopped again.
If you heard about a neighbor that told you that they had a baby in the hospital that was being turned into a soldier, would you think that was weird?
Yeah, I would think it's pretty bizarre. Yeah, absolutely.
If you had a neighbor that said 3 presidents had gone by their work to thank them for sharing their wife, would you believe them?
I wouldn't discredit someone just because, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know.
And did a president come by your work?
Yes.
Was it President Biden?
Yeah. Yep.
So there would be other people that saw him there, right?
Yeah.
So if 30 other people said, no, he didn't come by here, how would you reconcile that in your mind, that you saw him and nobody else did?
You want the honest truth?
Yeah.
They're lying. That's what I would say, to be honest.
If I could show you that President Biden was somewhere else on the day you believe he came by to see you, if I could show you, he couldn't have been there because I got him here on film in front of the Congress that day.
What would it mean to me?
Would you then question, maybe I'm not remembering things right. Maybe I'm not seeing things right.
I don't know. Everything can be altered.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not like trying to sound paranoid or any of that. I'm just saying, like, in all honesty, the government, I used to work in the government or whatever, but we're not 100% honest about everything.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be a huge relief if you found out, I was wrong. Right. She's not sleeping with all these other people and none of this other stuff about that is true. There's an explanation for it. Wouldn't that be a huge relief?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I just screwed everything up then. Or I just caused a bunch of damage for no reason.
But that'd be fixable.
Right.
Let's talk about the real world. You have to protect those children.
I do.
That man is a danger to these children.
Right.
He is.
He is unpredictable. He gets combative, and he is irrational. Those children cannot be exposed to him at this point. It's just that simple. Dr. Sophy has retired from the Department of Child and Family Services in LA County, which is the largest agency of its kind in the entire United States. Should he have access to those children?
No, I mean, it's emotional abuse. It's just not safe, and you need to protect them because if DCFS came out or Children's Services, they'd say neither one of you are protecting these kids and take them, and you don't want to lose your children.
Right. That's my biggest fear.
You simply can't risk the safety of these children. And that means he has to be excluded from their lives until this gets under control, which I think it can. Yeah. The best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, and his immediate history predicts very unstable future. His long-term history predicts a very good future. We just need to get through this rough patch and get him settled down.
We're saying he can't live there.
We all share a house. We all live with my mother-in-law. Right. So you're saying that he needs to leave and me and my kids
or you
would
leave.
Be best.
Yeah, or you with
or
the kids
I leave with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just can't coexist with them right now.
My son thinks that my daughter-in-law has slept with 170 plus people,
which include his father, my brother.
A delusional husband?
Do you really think she's had sex with over 100 people?
Yeah. New Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.